have we ever seen anything like Jayden?
No.
Is maybe having the greatest rookie year in the history of the NFL.
No, this is an all-time rookie season by him.
The poise, the calmness, the confidence.
Daniels looks like a future MVP.
The brother is special.
Best rookie quarterback in the history of the game.
I've never seen anything like it. That boy different.
To make yesterday about anything but Jayden Daniels is ridiculous to me.
Jayden Daniels had one of the most electric rookie seasons of all time. The flashes of brilliance, playmaking, confidence, and some huge moments that turned heads. But let's be real, it wasn't perfect. And this breakdown isn't just about the hype, it's about the full picture. From the highs to the concerns, we're diving into it all. No sugarcoating, just real analysis. And to do any real analysis, you need to know what the expectations were, do analysis based off of that. And that's what we're gonna do first, all the way back to when Jayden Daniels was drafted. Commanders were picking second in the draft this past year, obviously. So that year before, they were not very good, having a 4-13 record for the 2023 season. But the problem with Washington wasn't that their team had poor talent. There was plenty of good, but not great talent. Hence why they were pretty competitive a few years before. Why does this matter? Well, while Washington was picking high in the draft for a reason, it wasn't a bad situation to go into necessarily, like most rookie quarterbacks tend to do. Jayden Daniels had a pretty good situation. Good head coach with Dan Quinn and had Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator, who was the guy who failed in Arizona, but ultimately was the one to help Kyler Murray develop and partner with him to a potential MVP year in 2021. So in my eyes with Washington, my expectation was for them to be a competitive team, kind of like how Detroit was a few years ago. For Jayden Daniels, expectations of him coming out of the draft were pretty mixed. Some thought he was going to be a slam dunk prospect who was going to start strong right away. Others, and honestly myself, thought and saw some significant flaws that would take some time to fix and work on. What I noticed with Jayden Daniels as well was that he kind of came out of nowhere as being in the mix for that discussion for the second and third overall pick. But as time went on in the draft process, his draft stock soared and people were saying he was that guy. So with all that being said, I would say expectations were generally high for Jayden Daniels right away. Now for what he did this season, with going into what he did well, what he didn't do well, and then a big moment for him during the season after. To start, Jayden Daniels threw for 3,568 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, having 20 big-time throws and 11 turnover-worthy plays. He ended up having an 83 passing grade, ranking 7th of 58 quarterbacks. He had a 90.1 rushing grade, ending up with almost 1,000 yards with 927 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, and only 5 fumbles. And fun fact, Jayden Daniels broke RG3's rookie rushing record, which is really impressive that he did. Looking at how Jayden Daniels did under pressure, he was about average under pressure overall, having a 54 passing grade, 9 big-time throws, and 8 turnover-worthy plays. Versus him being kept clean, he was graded out to be a top 5 passer with 11 big-time throws and only 3 turnover-worthy plays. But when he was blitzed, he made more mistakes, having a 70.6 passing grade, 7 big-time throws, and 6 turnover-worthy plays. And that's not catastrophically bad. He was solid, and it's honestly perfectly fine, especially as a rookie. Now let's look at things Daniels did well and things he didn't do so well, and then we'll look at his best moment of the season. One thing Jayden Daniels has to do better in is how he handles sacks. This year he was sacked 48 times, which is the 5th most out of 44 quarterbacks. The initial thought is his offensive line is bad, but actually really wasn't that bad. His offensive line was average and individual grading. The Kingsbury scheme helps protect them as well. So why so many sacks? Well, Daniels had a pretty high pressure to sack ratio. This means for any pressure there was, he took more sacks than throwing it away, getting the ball out to a receiver, or even taking it off and running. His percentage was 21.2%, which is not great. This was a problem as well in college, and there he had an elite offensive line. The good thing is he can improve on this without a doubt. It'll take some coaching and a different mindset to fix nonetheless, but I believe he can do it. What I get worried about though is him not having the big stature, the chunkiness to take hits. Like when you look at him when he gets hit, it's brutal. I seriously get worried that down the line he might have some durability issues. Something JD did extremely well was making smart decisions with the football, which It's not often you see with a rookie. He rarely put the ball in harm's way and was tied for second with having the lowest turnover-worthy plays in the NFL. Throughout this year, Daniels has been great with just running the offense, doing what he's asked, and making a play here and there with his legs. But to be an elite quarterback in this league, to be in a tier of Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow, you need to be making big-time throws much more often without putting the ball in harm's way more often as well. Admittedly, I'll say that about almost every single one of the rookie quarterbacks. Just more big-time throws, please. What impressed me about Jayden Daniels, and it's something I noticed an announcer saying as well, was how he just looked like he belonged out there. Even with games he wasn't great in, he still wasn't out there looking rattled or nervous. He was cool, calm, and collected, much like Joe Burrow, of just looking the part. I know that may not be a flashy thing to point out. It's something none of the other rookies showed to that degree. Now for my favorite part of this review. There are many special plays that Jayden Daniels had this season and in the playoffs, but for time's sake, I'm only doing one play for each guy. This game is arguably Jayden Daniels' best game this season, as he's literally playing shutout, perfect football with having a 91.3 completion rate, which is absolutely unheard of. And the play I want to focus on in particular was the play to seal the deal for the Commanders. On this play, the Bengals are showing they are sending the house, playing cover 0. With one free rusher storming in, Daniels remains calm and throws this ball on a perfect arc that allows McLaurin time to adjust to it and keep separation, dropping perfectly in his hands in the end zone at the sideline. While Terry gets separation easily, these plays often go incomplete because there's simply not enough time for the quarterback to throw the ball. Not only that, but most quarterbacks often panic and just heave it out of bounds. Jayden Daniels knows very well that he's going to take a big hit and still delivers a beauty to essentially win the game for the Commanders. Oh, and this is his third game in the NFL. There are multiple games this season where people thought Daniels should have fallen short, but each time he delivered, remaining poised and leading his team all the way to the conference championship. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It helps YouTube show this video to more people, and subscribe if you want to see more of my football content. I got a lot of draft videos in the making and some analysis on controversial quarterbacks in the NFL coming after this video. See you next time.